Since the beginning of time, we have been taught to see the world through duality. Light and darkness, good and evil, right and wrong. But what if this division was just an illusion? What if everything we call evil was actually serving a higher purpose? Most people believe that the forces of darkness exist only to destroy, but the Chosen One knows that nothing is that simple. In the universe, everything is in balance. Where there is light, there is shadow. The yin-yang symbol represents this truth. Within light there is a point of darkness, and within darkness there is a point of light. You cannot truly understand your own light without first facing the darkness that exists within you. The true purpose of evil is not simply to cause suffering, it is to test, strengthen, and challenge. The soul only awakens when it is put to the test. Every obstacle, every spiritual attack, every moment of pain is a call for you to see something that was once hidden. Without challenges, you would never seek evolution. Without darkness, you would never understand the power of the light you carry within. Those who walk the spiritual path soon discover that trials do not come from where they expect. Often, the greatest challenges do not arise from declared enemies but from those closest to us, from unexpected circumstances, from silent pains that no one sees. But everything has a purpose. Every attack, every loss, every betrayal can be a push for you to become stronger, more awakened, more unshakable. The Chosen One does not become who they are by chance. They must go through trials that would break those who are not yet ready. But the real question is, do you recognize these challenges for what they truly are? Or do you still see everything as a battle between good and evil, without realizing that every difficulty can be a portal to your awakening? If you feel that darkness surrounds you more than it does others, this is no coincidence. The Chosen One carries a mission, but before fulfilling it, they must be tested. No warrior enters battle without first being forged in the fire of hardship. No strong spirit becomes unshakable without first facing its own shadow. Darkness does not appear in your life by accident. It arises as a mirror, reflecting everything you still need to confront within yourself. The fear that paralyzes you, the anger that consumes you, the doubt that weakens your vibration. All of these are doors that allow darkness to come closer. The true test is not to defeat external enemies but to understand why they appear. What inside of you still resonates with this energy? What part of your soul has not yet fully awakened? Most people spend their lives running from pain, but the Chosen One understands that it must be faced. Just as fire purifies gold, trials burn away illusions and reveal your purest essence. Life presents you with the same difficulties repeatedly, not because it wants to destroy you, but because it wants to show you where you still need to grow. Every trial is a call for evolution. The greater your light, the stronger the resistance from darkness. But the real danger is not what comes from the outside, it is what you allow to enter. If you understand this principle, you realize that nothing can touch you without your permission. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the one who has the power to choose how to respond to them. So, the next time you feel like everything is against you, ask yourself, is this really an attack or is it a test? Is life trying to punish you or strengthen you? Are you being persecuted or are you being prepared? Since ancient times, the forces of darkness have always been described as enemies of the divine, as entities working against the light. But what if this view is only part of the story? What if, behind fear and resistance, these forces are playing a much greater role than we ever imagined? In sacred texts and mystical traditions, demons were never mere destroyers. They always had a function: to test, challenge, and reveal hidden truth. In the book of Job, Satan does not act on his own. He can only test the Chosen One because he is granted permission to do so. He is not there simply to cause suffering but to prove the strength and faith of the one who has been called to something greater. In many esoteric traditions, shadow spirits cannot touch those who do not carry something within themselves that resonates with them. Fear, guilt, doubt, these are the doors that grant access to the influence of darkness. The Chosen One who understands this realizes that by confronting their own weaknesses, they close these doors and become untouchable. The true test is not to destroy darkness but to look it in the eyes without wavering. Many fail because they spend their entire lives running from what they fear, without realizing that the only way to win is to walk through the fear. When you face what once terrified you, you realize that the power of the shadows was never in them, it was in your own fear of confronting them. The question is not whether darkness is trying to bring you down. The question is, do you understand why it is here? Do you recognize what it is trying to teach you? Because once you grasp this, the game changes completely. If you feel like you are facing more spiritual attacks than others, know that this is not a punishment, it is a calling. No great soul awakens without resistance. No chosen one advances without first being tested. The more you grow, the more darkness tries to pull you back. And this is the secret many fail to see. Spiritual attacks are not a sign that you are failing but a sign that you are evolving. The resistance you feel is not random. Have you ever noticed how, in the moments when you are about to take a great leap in your life, something seems to arise to destabilize you? Close people start acting strangely, unexpected obstacles appear, your mind becomes flooded with doubts and fears that weren't there before. This is no coincidence. When you elevate your vibration, forces that once fed off your old self try to stop your ascension. And here is the decisive moment where many fail. When the pressure increases, many give in to anger, despair, and the feeling of injustice. They feed exactly the energy that darkness wanted them to feed. They enter the game of darkness without realizing it. But the chosen one who understands what is happening does something different. They do not react. They transmute. They use resistance as fuel, transform dense energy into power, and learn to extract wisdom from every challenge. This is the secret. Nothing can destroy you if you know how to transmute what attacks you. The forces that try to bring you down only have power over those who have not learned to turn pain into growth. The question is, will you let yourself be consumed, or will you use this energy to become even stronger? The truth that few understand is that no negative force can act upon you without your consent, even if that consent is unconscious. Everything in the universe follows the law of free will, and darkness is no exception. It cannot simply enter your life. It needs a breach, a subtle permission, a door left slightly open by doubt, fear, or guilt. And this is how manipulation happens. Spiritual attacks rarely present themselves in obvious ways. They infiltrate the small thoughts you ignore, the negative emotions you carry without questioning. When you start doubting yourself, when you feel unworthy, when you vibrate in scarcity, you are giving permission for external energies to interfere in your reality. Not because they have absolute power over you, but because you have lowered your frequency enough to resonate with them. The chosen one must understand that they are the master of their own energy. Nothing can dominate them without their permission. But this permission is not always given consciously. It happens when we forget who we are, when we believe in the illusion of weakness, when we accept that we are victims of circumstance. Choosing the light does not mean running from the darkness. It means looking at it without fear, without submission, without feeding the idea that it has power over you. Those who understand this become untouchable. Those who do not continue to be thrown back and forth by the tides of illusion. So ask yourself, where have you been giving away your energy without realizing it? What thoughts and emotions have allowed external forces to influence your vibration? Because the moment you become aware of this, darkness loses its control. The true spiritual master does not try to destroy darkness. He learns to transmute it. He understands that light and darkness are not enemies, but forces that complement each other. While the ignorant spend their lives running from suffering, trying to avoid challenges, the chosen one understands that everything can be used for evolution. He becomes a spiritual alchemist, turning pain into wisdom, fear into courage, attacks into growth. The greatest lesson the spiritual journey teaches is that what you resist, persists. Everything you fear gains power over you. Everything you reject grows stronger. But when you look at darkness without fear, without running, without hatred, it loses its strength. What once was an enemy becomes a teacher. What once seemed like a curse reveals itself as a hidden blessing. Many try to eliminate suffering without learning from it. They want difficulties to disappear without absorbing the lesson they bring. But the chosen one knows that there is no growth without trials. He does not seek only light, he seeks integration. He understands that true strength does not come from avoiding darkness but from absorbing it, understanding it, and transforming it into something greater. When you learn to see trials as tools for growth, nothing can destroy you. You realize that every challenge is an opportunity. You stop reacting and start creating. You are no longer a puppet of circumstances. You become the one who shapes your own reality. So look at your life now. What difficulties have you been resisting? Where does darkness still scare you? Because right there, exactly there, is the portal to your next evolution. When you feel that you are under the influence of darkness, the first thing you need to remember is that all of this is a test. Nothing can touch your energy unless you allow it. But if you feel that something is draining your strength, that your mind is being flooded with negative thoughts, or that your life has entered a cycle of resistance, then it is time to take back control. The first step is recognition. Many people fall into despair because they do not realize they are being tested. They believe that challenges are unfair, that life is against them, and by doing so, they become vulnerable. The chosen one, on the other hand, knows that everything has a purpose. He observes the situation without panic, without feeding the energy of fear. The second step is to avoid reacting with negative emotions. Anger, resentment, despair, all of these are open doors to the influence of dense energies. When you react impulsively, you vibrate at the frequency of the problem, not the solution. That is why, whenever you feel something trying to pull you down, stop. Breathe. Observe. Choose your response wisely. The third step is to raise your energy. Darkness can only affect you when your vibration is low. There are many ways to elevate your frequency. Meditation, prayer, mantras, connection with nature, inner silence. Everything that connects you to your true self dissolves external interference. It is not about empty rituals but about aligning your mind and heart with the frequency of light. Finally, the most important step, strengthen your mind and spirit. The chosen one who understands his true nature becomes untouchable. When you know that nothing can reach you without your permission, darkness loses its power over you. You realize that all fear was just a reflection of your own doubt. And when doubt dissolves, the shadow disappears. So the next time you feel something trying to weaken you, ask yourself, am I reacting as a victim or as a master of my own energy? Because that answer changes everything. The greatest proof that you are a chosen one is not in the amount of light you carry, but in the darkness you have overcome. The world is full of people who claim to be enlightened but have never faced their own shadows. They talk about spirituality, but they have never walked through the fire of trials. You, on the other hand, have been tested. You have felt the weight of darkness, faced invisible attacks, carried pains that no one saw, and yet you are still here. Nothing can touch you if you understand that everything is a game of energy and vibration. Darkness does not test you because it wants to destroy you. It tests you because it knows you are strong. Only the chosen ones are forged this way. You can break and lose yourself in fear, or you can become the one who cannot be brought down. The greatest spiritual masters in history were not those who avoided pain but those who transcended it. They walked through the shadows and emerged on the other side, unbreakable. They did not deny the darkness, they mastered it. Now the choice is yours. Are you ready to face your own shadow and claim your true power? If this message resonated with you, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with other chosen ones who need to hear this truth. And in the comments, tell me, have you realized that the greatest difficulties in your life were actually a powerful force for your spiritual growth? I want to hear your experience.